Personally, I was kind of concerned perhaps about, the language, academic language, and how I could translate my experience, from purely because it was an experience that I was learning as I was going, through that 30-year period I was in the music industry. Did I have the right vocabulary to translate it into written work or that kind of thing?
But likewise to Jim, it was the academic writing. It was created a wee bit of fear for me, and also the discipline as well, because music industry works on a different grid, and it was just whether I'd be able to make classes and fit in. I had a wee bit of fear about that, because I've been in the industry so long. But that's my main fear was the academic writing.
Exact same. It was doing the essays and stuff like that. I think being in the band and being in the road, you're kind of spoon fed. People look after you, so that was like doing it on your own and having to be kind of independent. That was something that made in my life. I thought it was a great opportunity, to be honest, for people who wanted to change direction or do something a bit different. I didn't know it was available. And I think if more people knew about it, it would definitely be something that would appeal, especially musicians and people in the industry.
Yeah, it can almost felt too good to be true to me, but that's the cynical, hardened musician. But I was the same. But it was fantastic, the actual experience. When I went down to Paisley to have my first interview, it was explained really well to me. And Alan was a great help as well to me through that whole process of, just before starting the APEL, because again I had a lot of fear about the unknown. What is it? What's required of me? But at every stage, it was laid out in a clear-cut direction, which was a real help to me.
So having the process laid out is what helped. Sometimes we think it might scare people off, that process. Hearing about all that.
No, actually, again, people at UWS were fantastic, especially Alan Lebrecht. He explained what it was, what was required, which took a lot of fear out of it.
It's that thing about learning to reflect on and what you've done and what you're doing, and be able to analyse it, and that kind of thing. That gives you a wee bit of discipline that you maybe didn't have when you're actually doing it, in the moment, kind of thing. I think that's something you've got all these skills, and it's channeling them in a certain direction.
Because musicians tend to take it for granted. They just we do the process and we move on. But that reflection was great to look at the amount of years that all of us had put in to the music industry. Being honest, it was quite daunting for me, but it was exciting at the same time. The APEL process was great, but then when I hit the first lectures, I was like, okay, there's quite a bit to this, which, if I'm honest, created a bit of fear. But again, at every point, the lectures were great. I have to say, the lectures were great, and I found that putting your hand up was one of the most important things in the classroom and asking questions, because the first couple of lectures I went home and went, nightmare. And I did that classic thing where I don't know if I can speak for anybody else, but I did that thing where I just thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, and I had a lot of fear. And what Rab said was brilliant. In a group, a music group, a band, whatever, there's other people that you can lean on. There's tour management, there's the record company, so there's a whole process, and you have one specific job. But I felt really, I had a lot of fear when I got into the classroom because the support system was gone. And I was like, oh, right. But at every point, the lectures were great, because I then started to find the courage to say, I don't know what that is, or how do I get to that point, or point A to C,
As well, just that, sort of sitting surrounded by people who are 20, 30 years younger than me, but that was fine, because everybody's got their own project and they're just getting through it, and just listening to other people's experiences, and you've got that extra experience, so you are, you can add something to the discussion, that maybe somebody else couldn't, and people will see that as well. An additional, you've got your, they're maybe taking it from the theory side of things, but you've actually experienced it, so you can add that, to the group discussion of whatever's going on, which is maybe the younger ones will find valuable, and then you can feed off their enthusiasm, and that gives you a good vibe as well.
Yeah, I at first was a bit, as I said, a bit fear for the lectures, and I really loved them. I really looked forward to getting in the classroom, and it felt as if it was there was no sort of barriers. I think Jim's explained it great. We can maybe bring something to it that they haven't experienced yet, just because of the age of them, but they've also got that enthusiasm and youth thing. And what I found was amazing was the grasp of technology. which is a really important thing, you know, the millennials and all this sort of stuff, you know, I was just like, wow, they're right inside this stuff, you know, which was inspiring to me, you know, I found that great, and the new ideas that they were bringing, you know, I found that great to be around it. I found it really stimulating to be around that you know, the students in the classroom, you know.
That's fantastic, yeah. How about yourself?
It was really nice to kind of be around the kids, because they were really enthusiastic about music. Still, whereas maybe being a wee bit older, you're a wee bit more jaded maybe or whatever, but they were so enthusiastic, and I thought I'd be getting into class and playing guitar every day and telling them stories about what I'd done, and it was like very quickly.
It's what Hum did.
She still does it. And very quickly it was obvious that it was going to be hard work, you know. As Ross said, and there was a few points where it was like, I don't know if I can do this, but all the lecturers were really helpful. You know, any problems, it was always like, you know, let's try and fix it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like my ID card. It's a wee badge of honour for me. You know, I'm quite happy to you know, let people see it.
I'm used to getting a lot of information from management or record, usually record company tour managers. So on any given day, we know exactly where we are. And I get a bit freaky about that sometimes, because it's all information. You've got to be a certain point. And when I first came in, I was a wee bit fearful of that I was like, well, what's a banner number? And where do I get it?
Yeah.
And just little things like that. Moodle.
Yeah.
Almost like
the mysteries of Moodle.
Yeah, the mysteries, and maybe just one person to guide the initial period would maybe be helpful. You know, maybe an APEL representative or something, I don't know, that could maybe just take that fear away from it. But other than that, no problems at all for me.
Same, like, it was things like Moodle, you said the banner ID, Harvard referencing, which I'm still getting to grips with.
Yeah.
But,
me too.
But it's really simple things, you know, and it's things that you can do on your own and, through time, obviously.
Yeah. There's an assumption you know what all the acronyms mean, but you don't. You know, you're just kind of thrown in at the deep end. But once you get into the system and everybody's, you know, you're talking the same language, it settles down. So you've got nothing to fear. You know, I mean, if I'd known about it 10 years ago, or if it existed 10 years ago, I would have probably done it 10 years ago. You know, but I think it opens doors for you didn't know existed. You know, there's a future there that you didn't know that was maybe available to you. So you've got absolutely nothing to lose. You go and enjoy it.
Yeah, embrace it and enjoy it.
Yeah.